Champ, you copy? You got to unmute yourself.
Yeah, can you hear me?
I hear you perfect. So, obviously, I can pronounce Tyrrell, man. How do you pronounce that last name?
It's Herndon.
Herndon. Okay. I was
Yeah,
saying Don. I was saying Don at the end, but uh,
Herndon.
Terrell, man. Thank you for coming on the show, brother. Thank you for coming on the
Appreciate you
show.
having me, man.
Congratulations. Obviously, this is a huge fight for you. Um, yeah, I mean, let's start at the beginning. Obviously you've been doing this for a while. Um, how did you feel when you got that phone call?
I felt great, man. I mean, like you said, doing something for so long and finally feeling like, whether ups and downs of whatever you're dealing with, and finally feeling like you get that call, it makes it feel all worthwhile, honestly.
Now, obviously, to the world, you're an unknown. They love Deontay Wilder. This is
Yeah.
his. This is his George Foreman, his Joe Louis, right? Like they are expecting him to come back. You got to do your best version of Buster Douglas and upset Mike Tyson.
Yes,
What
sir.
are you doing to be able to get that done?
I mean, everything under the kitchen sink, man. From a mental coach to, I'm with my trainer now. This is my second fight with him. So I got an undefeated mentality as well. Training with former Olympic coach, Jeff Mays. So the training, what we're doing is rigorous. The sparring, just everything is real methodical, man. And it's no wasted movement, man. Like I say, all the way down to a mental coach. I never thought 10 years in as a pro, I'd have a mental coach, strength and conditioning, adding that, nutritionist, uh, just everything like that, adding to it, man, to make it a complete program to take advantage of this opportunity.
So for you, obviously, this is going to be the biggest win of your career if you can get that win. Um, on the flip side, it's a double-edged sword. There will be critics that say if you beat Wilder, that he is done. Are you mentally preparing for that?
Yeah, and that's where that mental coach comes in. I'm grooming myself mentally right now, all the way up until the night of the fight, man, because like you would know, it's going to be instances that happen and critics that say that's which I'm staying away from comments. I'm staying away from videos, everything, just because I'm not going to mess up my aura of what I have going into this fight, But yeah, I'm mentally grooming myself now for the naysayers, for the people that say I don't stand a chance, this and that. At the end of the day, my preparation and what I'm putting into this, it'll show. It'll show the night of, and it's only it's a couple weeks out, over a month out, and time will tell, But uh, I'm grooming my mind to know that all the static on the outside, it's gonna be there. I get in there and do my job. It's gonna be that much more. It's gonna be that much more of an uproar, and I plan on doing that.
And where are you like holding camp? Not specifics, but like what state are you based out of?
I'm here in San Antonio, Texas, and I'm actually
Okay.
taking out to Florida for 2 weeks for more training this Sunday. So I'm
Wait,
kind of
wait, wait, wait. Are you going to that pro box area?
yes, sir.
You supposed to be sparring with this dude from Canada? Um,
Uh,
what's his name? He got that fight with Oslenbeck. His trainer. We just interviewed him. I mean, are you or am I overreaching here?
I I know we're trying to set up something, so maybe that's something that'll be there. But that's where I'm gonna be, So that would be great work. Obviously, if it all aligns that way. But definitely planning on it.
Man, I just interviewed the heavyweight. His name is escaping me, but it's
You're not talking about what's his name? Otto Wallen, are you?
no, 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 no.
No,
He's not like known. He's from Canada, and he's
okay,
coming. He's coming to America as well, to Florida for
okay.
his training camp. And I'm thinking, oh, are you guys just, because he's gonna be looking for work. So maybe I didn't know if y'all had already set that up. Once I get the name, you'll be able to say yes or no. But it's probably a
Yeah.
no if you can already remember the
Yeah,
name.
yeah.
But
My coach has all that set up, so I'd have to get with him and see. But yeah,
so, what do you think Wilder has left? How are you, I guess, looking at this version of him?
I mean, I'm taking this approach like it's the early stages Deontay Wilder. You know, like I've said numerous times, I feel like I get I get the most dangerous Wilder that y'all have seen in a while, the Wilder that y'all are seeking because he wants to prove that I don't belong in there with him. He wants to prove that he still has it to the critics, and he wants to get back to these big fights. You know, so it makes the perfect recipe to get an explosive Deontay Wilder, I would think. You know, and that's what we're preparing for. You know, and like I say, you know, all of those answers will be answered come the night of. What Wilder you get, what you'll get out of me, unknown, and that's the beautiful thing about this sport, especially when matchups like this happen. You know, either someone like myself rises up to the occasion, or not. You know, and so I mean, you know, come the night of, you'll see.
Yeah, so the name of the heavyweight is Ricardo Brown. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that name. He's actually got a big fight scheduled as well. Not as big
Okay.
as yours, but a big fight. Not as big as yours, but a
Yeah.
big fight. And yeah, he's coming from Canada to Florida
Okay.
for training camp. That's why I just automatically assumed. But yeah. So
So,
yeah, man. So talk to me about these losses you suffered because you know how fight fans are, especially on the internet. They're gonna see that
yeah.
and automatically write you off. So you know, e- everybody has losses, and you know every situation is different. Maybe you got stories behind all of those. We definitely got the time.
Yeah. I mean, I don't, you know, to break it down in detail, I don't want to make it seem like I'm gonna make any excuses for the losses that I've had across my span or my career span. But just to go in detail, I mean, you know, uh, I mean, some of these dudes where I have stepped up, they're top 10, top 15 fighters as well. You know, the F.A. Ajagbas, the Brandon Glantons, and you know, through a course of a career which I felt like I was learning on the job. You know, I had 25 amateur fights, which I, you know, feel is good coming in, you know, but I don't have these 100 plus fights. So I was learning on the job, and along the way, you know, like I say, stepping up with these fights, I just didn't have in the moment as far as trying to secure the win, uh, the mental fortitude, the 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 proper technique, whatever it may have been, you know, to where it just didn't work in my favor that night. And even in a loss where I shouldn't have lost against a well upside down fighter, that's on my record. Uh, that one sucks. Which, like, you know, the win loss column doesn't tell a story. So I appreciate you opening up, asking, you know, what it is. And like I said, that's not me giving an excuse. I'm just elaborating on some losses to give clarity. But even one of the ones with an upside down loss, you know, it was a flash knockdown. Happens in boxing. I get up at the eighth, but it was the week or the month where those boxers were a lot of the fighters a couple years ago in that year. They were passing away in the ring, so they were uptight. And they told us, and that's my fault. That's one thing I learned too. They told us in the the referees come in and they uh, they prep the fighters and let them know what they need to do. I had my headphones in, you know, because I felt like I've heard it at that time 10 plus times. And they said if you take your mouthpiece out, it's an automatic. We're gonna wave it off. So when he gave me the flash knockdown, you know, the ref comes and they ask, are you good to continue? And you know, I take my mouthpiece out, tell him, yeah, I'm good. And you know, by me doing that, uh, that wrote that story on that one, you know. And I mean, that's just like I said, to elaborate on that. But yeah, it's just all extreme learning lessons for me, man, through my career, and I'm blessed to now being who I am to get an opportunity like this to shock the boxing community.
Um. So, man, I had that question. Oh my God. Okay. That yes. So you were giving us the reasons to these losses. I'm sitting here waiting for you to finish to find out what's different now.
So like I say, I mean, longevity in the sport, learning things along the way. You know, new training, new metrics added to the training as far as treating my body like a true temple. You know, like I say, a nutritionist, uh, even having a mental coach. You know, like I say, I didn't think much of it between that and then, like I say, just the upping of my sparring and just proper training. Like I feel like taking it, not that I didn't take it serious then. I wouldn't want to discredit myself like I didn't, because I did, you know. But I just think that combination of everything I told you, you'll see a difference from if you Google early fights versus now. You're gonna see a guy that lets his hands go. You're gonna see a guy that's throwing crisp shots, and you'll see a guy that can absorb some shots as well. You know, and oh, and even going, I'm sorry to kind of backtrack. Even with the Richard Torres fight, you know, I honestly I thought that that would be my before the change of hands. I thought that would be an outcoming for me, or my coming out party.
Coming out party.
But yeah, but it wasn't, you know. And not to make excuses, I'm just putting the facts there where you Google. Uh, I learned now even more so. Stay ready so you don't have to get ready. When I got that call, it was a 2 week notice, and I'm like, well, shoot, we got to rock and roll. And I felt I was in decent shape. But that furthermore proves that I wasn't, you know. So now I know. Up and after that one, it wasn't like, okay, I'll wait on a call, then I start training. I started working to where every day I'm training to where if a call ever came in like this one, that I would already be ready and I would slide into camp, you know. So I took that as a huge learning lesson as well.
So who are you using in sparring? Because Torres, he got you out of there in two. Now you saying that's
Yeah,
preparation. This fight, you obviously have way more than enough time. I mean, this was announced a while ago, so you should be good here in terms of time. But who's
yeah,
preparing you for that power of Wilder? Because they say the power's the last thing to go.
yeah. I mean, I honestly, like I say, the fighters, I couldn't say the fighters that I am training and working with, whether it's in Houston or whatever I match up with out there in Florida. Who's to say that they would have power like a Deontay Wilder? They say that the power that man possesses is unmatched. Even Tyson Fury, when asked who was the hardest puncher he faced, he said Wilder without a doubt. So I would like to say that these guys that I'm facing is adding that punch tolerance that I need. But I mean, realistically, would they or do they? You know, I mean that's a question that I'll be able to answer internally myself as the fight goes on. The night of, you know. But uh, I mean, the guys that I have, they're simulating the height. I feel they can crack, but can they crack as hard as a Wilder? I mean, you know, your guess is as good as mine. So I can only add this to my bag and hope that uh, helps out with that preparation for a Wilder.
So you spoke of the preparation in the Torres fight. So it's kind of a two-parter. Do you think that's why you weren't as active? Because it seemed, in that second round, like you were already a little tired. Outside of that, was it the Southpaw stance that gave you an issue?
Yeah, I feel like if you do go back and watch, I feel like my first round was a lot more crisp, even but towards the very end where it almost would look like I would fade away. But that's the way I wanted to continue through all of the rounds, you know. But uh, I felt like his style, which his style is a real come forward pressing style, and without me putting the proper training that I would say that I would have wanted to put in, expose that. And leading into the second round, it was a little bit more. I was a little more gassed. I believe he dropped me in that round. Um, I would kind of like they would say I would have liked to gone out on my shield. But I guess it was almost made like I turned my back, which in reality he flips good angles. He flips real good angles, and as a boxer, you're taught when somebody gets behind you, put your hand behind your head, and the rep does his job as far as breaking up and resetting. And unfortunately, I didn't have that that night. Not to say that it would have changed the outcome, but I'm the type too. Like if I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna go out on my shield, and I don't want any excuses. And not to say that that's one, but uh, yeah, no, my going to it, my cardio is huge this fight, because uh, fighting a guy like Wilder, I feel like your tank has to be jet fuel, and I don't want cardio or diminishing in my cardio to be a factor, So that's one thing that taken extremely serious this camp as well.
Did you watch the Parker Wilder footage, and do you think you can put together a Parker like performance? He boxed Wilder and kept kept him offset. He did a lot of good things. Is that footage you've been looking at? And again, do you think you can put something together based off that game plan?
Yeah, no, I mean that's one of the top five fights that I am dissecting, because obviously he did a beautiful he put on a beautiful boxing clinic, and I mean just from his distance to the punches he chose, the double, like that's one that I'm watching, and I feel like me, I can emulate something like that, but I'm taking the great things that he did, putting them in my bag, and taking some of the things that uh, going back outside of that fight with the Fury and then leading into Zhang, just taking things that I like and kind of mushing it into what it is I'm gonna bring, and I feel that I can simulate what he did. I feel like people that have known or know me in my career know that I can box. If there's no tape, that's one thing about until you get these fights, a lot of these fights, you can't until you get a big fight like this, you wouldn't know none of my fights, But a fighter like Brandon Glanton, they'll tell you that was a 4 rounder. I was beating a Brandon Glanton into the third round just boxing, and me being me and not thinking, I got disqualified that fight because I try to pick him up and throw him out of the ring. Why? Stupid, because for one reason or another, whatever happened in there, I let my emotions get the best of me, and try to I try to pick him up and throw him
But
out of the
what
ring,
but
and that
what happened?
disqualified.
Was it an illegal infraction? Because I know Glanton well, and it's just hot in his kitchen. So did you do that because he was just giving you too many shots, or was it because
Nah,
he was doing something illegal?
yeah, nah. So his style is pushing forward too, and I was boxing real good. Where he started coming in good, and I felt like some of the stuff. I felt like some of the stuff I would do, I would quickly get a warning from a ref, and I'm like, all right, all right. And then he would come in, I felt, and do the same thing, but there was no warning, and it was like you can keep. And once he's on you, you can keep throwing punches and whatever. So I kind of like I say early in my career, kind of got in a battle with the ref, like I'm doing the same thing, but he's doing the same thing, but you don't warn him. So when he did it again, that's when I kind of like picked him up and almost act like I was gonna throw him out. Once I put him down, they were like, "Nah, that's it," And like I said, there's no excuse for that. I was in my own head, but I just felt like if you're gonna warn me, if the other guy's doing the same thing, naturally you would warn him, right? But that's not how it played out that night, and I took it into my own hands, and the ultimate the decision of the DQ is there.
Um, did the fans react in a manner? Because when we see things like that, first thing fans like to say is he checked out. He was looking for a way out. How do you respond?
I mean, I wasn't, like I said, if I know that I was outboxing him there and I only had one more round. I mean, me checking out, knowing that I had one round to do what would be an upset, shame. That's bad on my part, And but I guess in a certain aspect, maybe I did. Obviously, to do something that irrational. I mean, I had to check out in some form, so I wouldn't fight that. I wouldn't fight that statement. Because if I would have kept composed, and finished out the rounds, it would have been a different I feel turnaround. I mean, or it would have been a different story. So yeah, like I say, that's just one that it played out the way it played out, and the win loss and DQ columns don't tell you, or win loss columns don't tell you the story. But that's just kind of like an in depth story on that one as well. You know.
Now, um, obviously losses don't define a fighter. You know, you can get this win and turn it around and go on a streak and become the new Tevin Farmer. That being said, you guys don't like to look past your fight in front of you, and Wilder is a big fight because he's the most dangerous fight. Um, but I'm forcing you to because it's impossible for me to believe that you're going to sleep at night and not envisioning what your life looks like if you beat Deontay Wilder. You know, not envisioning how that night looks. Man, if I land that right, and you know, I just want to know what do you see when you close your eyes because the night hasn't come yet. So the anticipation must be building inside of you. I just want to know, you know, what's racing through your mind.
Now I love how you put that, man. Like a lot, a lot. You know, and as you know, and as boxing fans that are tuned in and they know Deontay Wilder, he's one he's the most explosive fighter of this generation. You know, of this generation of boxing, and I got more than quite the task in front of me to even try to think I would look past him. But like you said, as you get ready to lay down at night and your mind is your mind, right? Thousands of thoughts are going to go through it to where you can envision if you did land that shot or you outboxing, your hands raised, what could be next, you know? And my mind has played with that, and man, I just you know I can envision me doing the same as far as even if that's discredited because I may have gotten someone that was on their way out to continue to perform at a high level and outdoing my performances. And that's one thing that I envision in my mind as far as just really getting out there and putting on a good performance and getting to more opportunities. You know, more opportunities from a guy that wasn't supposed to be here, from what they say, or a guy that uh, they're writing off before it even starts. You know, so without looking past a Wilder because I couldn't. That task is bigger than it's a huge task. I know that handling that task, getting more huge opportunities or more opportunities to continue to show that I'm not a fluke. You know that's kind of what is in the forecast of my mind without overlooking at Wilder.
Nah, for sure. Listen, Wilder has always been one of my favorite fighters, you know. So for me, I'm not gonna lie to you and say that I didn't recommend for him to go on the bum of the month tour. That, you know, I'm not hoping that he can get 5 wins, lesser opponents to get back where he was. But you got your own story, and shout out to you. Uh, I hear you got advice from Buster Douglas. Like that's the
Yes, sir.
ultimate. That's the ultimate person to get advice from on
Yeah,
causing the upset. What did he tell you, and how'd you even like how do you know Buster Douglas to get that advice?
man. You know a crazy story. Like I say, things happen that you can't things happen that you can't explain, you know, and this journey in my life right now, I don't even try to dissect it and explain how it happens. I just, you know, allow it to happen and know it's no coincidence. And I don't know if you've seen the documentary 42 to 1. Real good documentary with Buster
Is it on
Douglas. And
ESPN? Is it ESPN
yeah,
documentary? I think so.
so it was a
I
real
want
good
to say
documentary.
yes, but I think so.
Okay, so yeah, it just went on his story, like, you know, how obviously everybody wrote him off against an undefeated prime Mike Tyson. Even his mom was kind of writing him off like, you know, you shouldn't do it. And then when something happened, his mom believed, oh, and she was going to work screaming, like telling people, oh, my baby's going to beat Mike Tyson. And they're looking at her like, you're crazy, lady. Your son is not beating the Mike Tyson. And she passed away shortly after that. And obviously that goes in the story where he took that into the fight with him and he did the unthinkable, you know. And I had just got done watching that and talking to my brother, Thomas Hirschman. And he ended up reaching out and got a hold of where he gave the number and we started talking to him and man he just said He said, "Forget it, Deontay Wilder." He's like, he ain't no different than the last two people you fought in the sense that he has a bigger name and obviously you know what he can do, but don't be in your own head of facing this face of one, face of boxing knockout puncher. Don't even think like that. Go in there and let your hand, like he said in his documentary, let your hands fly. Let your hands fly and see where it ends up. But get in there and not respect him. And I couldn't do nothing but heed the advice that he was giving me because it's Buster Douglas. He created one of the biggest upsets in sports history, and I really took that, like I say, and put that in my bag, and I'm letting those words ring in my head every day, every day, and leading up into this fight, those words are gonna ring in my head every day, and once that bell rings, it's time to paint that canvas, and I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to it.
I'm glad you answered it that way because he said, don't respect him. That's something that Joe Parker didn't do. And it's something that I think that you have to do just to keep those mental cobwebs in his mind, right? Like, because, I mean, psychologically, he's looking at it like, bro, Tyrrell is not Tyson Fury. When he's in the gym, he's telling himself, you not Fury, you not Joseph Parker. So he believes you should be intimidated of him. Like he wants to, his goal is to go back to the old Wilder. The old Wilder motherfuckers was afraid of him. You got to push him from opening bell. Like if you let him get comfortable, he got comfortable. Fury ain't let him get comfortable. And neither did Zhang or Joseph Parker. Don't let him get comfortable because the last thing you want him to do is for psychologically it to click. He start believing in that right hand again and letting it go. You know, and I know right now, he not letting his hands go as much as he used to. That means he lost that belief in that right hand. You got to remind him, like, bruh, just because you think I'm not them, don't mean I'm not them. I'm better than them. Push his ass. Don't just
Yeah,
stand there. Great advice by Buster Douglas, man, for sure.
yeah,
Um,
for sure. I
I
mean,
got
that
some.
you hit that right on the head.
I'm
Hit that right
sorry.
on the head, man. Now you hit that right on the head. It's a matter of like when moments like this, they can be too big for you to where you may not recognize it, but you're respecting them, and then that you over respecting them, especially in a moment like this, opens up the door to
Exactly.
So that's why I'm saying, and it's one thing to talk. Beautiful thing about this as well, I can't run from it. He can, and not to say he would run from it, but that night is going to come, and I'm gonna have to do what I say I'm gonna do, and like I say, I feel like uh, one, I do just that, and let alone like it shows in my history of a record or whatever. I'm gonna go out there and I plan on being fan friendly, and and if I do what I need to do, it's all gonna work out, But I'm not running. I'm not running. I'm here. I'm here for a reason. I believe it. 1,000 people can walk up to me and say you don't belong here. You got a lucky fight. You're a bum, and I wouldn't exhaust any of my energy trying to explain to them why I'm here. I just know that me inside of me, why I'm here, what I'm gonna do, and that's all that matters. I'm at peace with myself, and like I said, I can't wait. The biggest battle right now is waiting for all this time to elapse to get to it, the build up. But yeah, like I'm looking forward to the night more than the next man for sure.
Bro, you couldn't have answered that any better because let me tell you, this is a reset button. Look at it like that. When you hit in that bag, bro, you beat Deontay Wilder, them 5 losses don't matter. They
Yes,
just
sir.
don't fucking matter. And let the motivation be you beat Deontay Wilder, Turkey Al Sheikh could call you. You could be in Saudi. You could be making $3 million to fight a dude that normally you'd get 500,000. So take this shit serious, bro. This is an opportunity of a lifetime for you and a complete reset button. What people
Yes, sir.
thought before this fight, that shit ain't gonna matter if you win
Yeah.
this fight.
Yes, sir.
I got a couple
Yes, sir.
questions from the people here though. New York Bullet from New York says, "What's up, champ? Any big fights, not yours, you look forward to watching as a fan for the rest of 2025? Blessings, champ. Good luck to you.
Like as far any fights I look forward to.
Any fights you look
Uh,
forward to that are already made that isn't your fight?
I mean, I look forward to obviously the Crawford and the Canelo, just because Crawford's such a dog. His mentality is different, and people, which is crazy, are kind of somewhat writing him off like he doesn't have a chance against a Canelo. So I'm looking forward to that one. Just on on the tip of my mind, I'm looking forward to that one for sure.
All right. Next one here. Bones 13, Fort Worth, Texas. Do you think do you think Diddy is guilty or not, champ?
That's funny, man. My girl is fascinated with this Diddy case, and I'm like, man,
Everyone
I don't.
is.
It's
Bro,
crazy. Like,
I did a second show yesterday. It was like 7 hours. And we were supposed to be talking about Tank and Roach that got announced. After like the first 2 hours, everybody was talking about the Diddy case, man.
yeah, like it's crazy. But I mean, something that big, you don't have no choice to talk about, I guess, especially with some of the stuff that's coming up. But hey, man, all evidence points so I ain't no, innocent until proven guilty. I ain't no judge, but I mean that evidence that's coming out, it's kind of hard to combat, honestly.
Bruh, you got that universe energy going on. Like I said, man, you got the ultimate underdog to give you advice. And all the way back in 2019, you posted manifesting idols become rivals. Bro, you can't fail, okay? God is giving you all the signs that this could be your opportunity to change shit around, bro. How did you feel? Again, I know I asked that in the beginning, but it's like when you realize, man, I really posted this in 2019. Here I am, 2025, fighting Deontay
Yeah.
Wilder.
I mean, I just couldn't, like I say, in a world today where they try to take God and religion out of everything, it's still very much forefront in my life. So whether the
Absolutely, and
media or
amen to that.
yes, sir. Like I so all I could do in the moment is stop and pray, man, because like I say, before that call came in, I could not lie to you, man. Like um I was on my way to the gym like I am here now. And I turned around, man, I went home. I went to the crib and my brother called me because he likes to pop up and see if anybody knows if somebody's growing or his growth is getting better, my brother will, and he'll tell me that ain't it. And it kind of we get into it at times because he's telling me like he's not gonna sugarcoat it. And so I tell him I'm headed home, and he tells me he's like, bro, what are you doing? I'm like, man, like, what do I got to show for it? Like, a couple fights here and there. I said I'm going into my 10th year, man, and I just feel like yeah, I'm doing it. I have a decent record from what they say, a good record, but where's my pinnacle? Like, where's my big opportunity? Real conversation. And he's like, man, that ain't you. And I'm usually the one uplifting people around me. And he's like, man, that ain't you, man. Come on, man. Like, you don't think like that. Just keep your head in it. Something's going to shake. And I'm like, you're right, man. I just need this day. This day is for me. I'll be back Monday to hit it. And I came back Monday, uh, got a good workout in and good session. Boom, I get a call because I deal with the trucking company also. So I get a call for a contract in Dallas. I jump on a plane. I go to Dallas. And as I land, he's lighting my phone up. And this is months before it actually hit the news. And he's lighting my phone up. And I was actually with the customer talking to him. And I was like, I'll call you back. He's like, bro, call me back. So I call him back. I'm like, what's up, man? And he's like, you ready for a fight of your life? I'm like, I mean, I'd be, if I told you no, it'd be crazy. He's like, no, man. He was like, fight of your lifetime just came in. And I'm like, first thing I said is like, who, Dylan White? Because, Dylan White was kind of in the talks, here and there. And he's like bigger. And I'm like, really? He's like Deontay Wilder. And it's like in that moment, everything around me stopped, as I'm trying to imagine that moment where
Yes,
I did get to
sir.
speak to him and get that, but everything in that moment was like, it was almost like I was outside of myself. It was crazy, and like I say, in that moment, I had to stop and just pray and thank God. Like even when you think it's over, the faith of a mustard seed, man. If you got that small bit of faith, eventually, longevity and consistency with your work putting in, it runs into your opportunities and destiny. And I feel like a lot of times we can give up right before that moment happens, and that was a huge testimony for me because I knew I wouldn't give up. But in that moment, I was in my own head, and I did in that moment, you know. But me still having that faith of a mustard seed, I get right back to it. And God showed me days later, like, here you go, son. Like, and here you were, like, saying you know, you didn't want to go to the gym, and a fight a fight of your lifetime comes in, you know. And man, it's crazy. Now using meeting him at the Adrian Broner fight and Pacquiao fight, and him telling me, you know, him telling me to stick at it, man. Like, stay at it. You never know where to end up. Now I'm standing across from you, a guy that when I didn't have much forward to look to, or I didn't have much to look forward to, I felt like in my life at time uh, working in a warehouse, hating what I did at the moment, but dreaming big, and then running home on the weekends, still forcing myself to train, even though you're tired. And everybody knows that's in that grind right now. Sometimes it can be hard to chase a dream when you got done working 10, 12 hours in a day, but you got to force yourself to do it. I was doing that. And on the weekends, coming home, watching Wilder fight. And it's just all, it was just all like motivational. So to come all the way back to where he's giving me those words, and then to get the call, oh man, that's your universe speaking. That's a universe speaking in a major way that can't be denied. And I got to do my job, and I'm grooming myself all the way around to do just that. You know.
Nah, absolutely, man. So why did you choose to slim down for this fight? You know, and obviously you joked and said you ain't slimming down to a flyweight, but I mean he's 6'7". He was heavy for some of his Fury fights. Is the I guess game plan stick and move?
Yeah, I feel like we talked on cardio. Like between the cardio and the style I'm bringing, it's naturally shedding off this weight. You know, and I'm being overconscious now to like pack on the weight comfortably to where it doesn't affect my cardio. But when you're hitting the workouts that I'm hitting, and the move and everything that I'm doing that's going into this camp, this weight is just falling off of me. You know, and like I'm the you know, you would think I would want to come in heavy and this and that, but it doesn't with the style that I'm bringing. It's not benefiting me, and my punch power is still there, and it's proven in sparring sessions. So as long as that's not going with the weight that's trickling off of me, then I'm in a good place because I know that, like I say, I'm equipping this tank with jet fuel, and I'm making sure that cardio's not going to be a problem, you know, and that I can sustain what it is I want to sustain, you know, during the night of the fight.
Hey man, since you said the punching power hasn't dropped because of sparring, if you land that perfect punch on Deontay Wilder, what's the first thing you're gonna be saying to the camera, and how are you gonna be celebrating back in San Antonio, Texas, man? Because
Hey
honestly,
man, like
shout out to Barrios, but if you do this, that gotta put you as like the. I mean, I ain't gonna say biggest because I'm not good
yeah,
with history, but
you still got Bam Bam, you still got Bam Bam Rodriguez
oh
fighting out
damn,
here.
Bam from San Antonio. Ooh, forget that.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. But nah, I mean, like you say, what do you think about before you go to sleep? Those are little moments that I think about. You know, man, like man, it's more or less like I don't even want to say I told you so because I'm not saying much, but it's more like a look of like, now what? You said what you said. Now what? Like I'm here now. Now what? And that's what I envision in my head. Now what? Like I'm here now. Now what? And going from there, you know. But yeah, that's definitely one that's ringing in my head as well, man. Now what?
Salute, salute. I don't know if you know, Ramon Cardenas fought Inoue. Obviously, he's pound for pound, so there's a lot of talk. Lower weight classes, but he gets a lot of love because he gets knockouts. But Ramon fought such a great fight. A lot of the fans were teasing him, saying things like he was a cab driver and he's technically a Lyft driver. So after the fight, he tweeted out, "Not bad for a Lyft driver." So that's why I wanted
Yeah,
to ask you, what would you say to these fucking haters? You know what I'm saying? But look, This is a great question from one of my listeners. Is just you got to get it before I say it. So he wants you to blind rank these fighters. I'm gonna give you one name at a time. You only have 5 positions to rank them in, so choose wisely.
Okay.
We got okay. So wait, he says, "Yo, champ, blind rank these 5 heavyweights right now that you would want to fight. So in the order you would want to fight them." Jared Anderson. I can't give you the other name until you rank this one.
Jared Anderson.
Remember, there's 5 fighters. So what position would you put Jared in terms of I want to fight this guy next?
I'd put him probably at a 4.
Daniel Dynamite Dubois.
Yeah. I mean, naturally you'd want to put him at a 1, especially with him doing what I feel he's about to do, or fighting a fight he's fighting. But I'd put him at a I'd put him at a 3 just because of I feel what names would be coming.
Jake El Gallo Paul.
I put him at a 5.
Joe. Wait. Bro, you a real heavyweight that fought real people. If Jake Paul calls to give you a fight, you saying that he would be your 5th fight? Like, isn't that free money
I,
for
I,
you,
I mean, more
so to
like I thought
speak?
it's like from favorite. I thought it was from like more realistic, or more like I would want to fight versus like I put him on the back burner. Like that comes with media and all that stuff, and I don't care. I'm like real fights. I'm putting it real fights
Okay.
versus
Okay.
yeah.
Hey, I hear you. Joe Parker
Joe Parker. I put him at a 2.
and Usyk.
Yeah, and Usyk of course at a number 1.
Great. Next one is
Yeah.
from Alex Vega from Palm Beach, South Florida. From some of the promotion I've seen on this fight, it's quite obvious the show is based around Deontay Wilder. What do you know about the event handlers for this event, and how, if any, has your interactions been with them? I guess he's talking about Combat Initiative or Global, because they are new to us. Global Combat Collective. But I believe that's Nelson, right, from Florida?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Is it his
yeah.
company or he just works for them?
That's a good. I mean, I'm not even sure honestly. I think he might be partnered with somebody to where they started this.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think it's him and another guy's company that they started, and this is their. I would want to say their first event into it.
Okay. And it is going to be streamed on Black Prime, as far as you know.
Yeah, yes, sir. It's gonna be streamed there, as far as I know.
So Alex's question was: did you ever have any interactions, conversations with what is it, Global Combat Initiative?
Nah. I haven't. I feel like I'm the little man in this fight, so I don't really get much. My job for me is to train. I don't really get much communication. Like he stated, this show is Legacy Reloaded. So this is very much his show, and it's up to me to come in and change it into my show. But um, this show is obviously his, so I don't really get much. I don't really get much say so or much speaking to these people that are putting them together. It's kind of set up like I'm a sacrificial lamb and come in and enjoy just to be here. And that's cool if that's what they feel or whatever, but I'm not buying into it or feeling it. So I'm staying in my zone of training, and uh, the conversations with them are limited, honestly. Y'all know just as much as I may know. As crazy as it sounds.
For sure. I got Z Pacino that says St. Louis here. Is there a heavyweight from our pastimes that you would compare your story to?
I mean, and I can't even say the magnitude of what Buster Douglas did. So I'm gonna try to really dig deep on that, because I would want to initially say a Buster Douglas because this opportunity is big. But I would say like you said, man, I feel like of this generation, a Tevin Farmer. He was wrote off. He had a couple losses, and then he came back in a major way. This right now is a Tevin Farmer moment. And like I say, with this new training and proper training that I'm receiving, I got everything in the cabinet to do just that.
All right. I got the last one is from Miguel Gutierrez. He says, "Hey champ, Michael Angelo from Los Angeles, California. Now that you are on the biggest stage in your career, what do you think you have that separates you from the rest? Obviously, fighting Wilder, we know the power he possesses in his hands. Salute, champ. Best of luck on your fight. TBV for life." Salute emoji.
Uh, Kind of reiterate that one more time. My bad on that.
So he says, "Hey champ, Michelangelo from Los Angeles, California. Now that you're on the biggest stage in your career, what do you think you have that separates you from the rest? Obviously, you're fighting Wilder. We know the power he possesses in both hands. Salute, champ. Best of luck on your fight."
Okay. What I feel this go around in my career that I have that's going to separate me is I feel like you know one out outside of the mental fortitude of being where I've been and what I've been through to even get to a moment like that. I feel like my tenacity that I'm going to bring and my belief and conviction, let alone let my hands fly. I feel like that combination is going to be different than what people bring versus being extremely tactful or maybe uh, not punching as much or whatever you want to call it. I feel like I'm gonna grasp all that in one and deliver it come the night of the fight.
So, did you feel disrespected by the odds, and are you betting on yourself? The odds are $3,000 only makes you 100 if you're betting on Wilder, and
Okay.
$100 makes you $1,000 if I'm betting on you.
Honestly, I felt like the odds, and maybe it will as the fight gets close. But I feel like the odds can get can get and should be that much more disrespectful, because it's almost like a Buster Douglas. A Buster Douglas, his odds was 42 to 1. So what? Every hundred that you bet, what was that? $4,200, right? So
Correct.
for him to face a prime Tyson or whatever, it's kind of the same scenario, different realm. I feel like they should be more disrespectful, honestly. Um, but outside of it, I'm betting on myself. And if they want to give that money up, make it a little bit more disrespectful. So uh, when it's all said and done with, it works out that way as well. But yeah, now I figured honestly it would be you know with the way that they're talking, a little bit more. But I expect him coming in and who he is and what he's done. It's got to hold some kind of weight. And bringing in a guy like me is the perfect story to make the story show that he's that invincible, or he's that monster coming in, and that's the way was designed, because if it was anybody else, the odds would be against him, So this is strategically planned for the legacy reloaded, but coming into this, come the night of it, time will tell.
Hey, champ, and that's all the questions. Please give out your social media for anybody that isn't following you can absolutely do so. We thank you for coming on. We'd love to get you on a little bit closer to the fight. And I'm going to DM you so you can let me know where you're going to be training at. I got a correspondent in Florida and I got a spot in Florida. I'm in Vegas now, but I should
Okay.
be heading down there. I could check you out if you don't mind. I'm
Okay.
screen sharing the social media, but give it out for those that are listening and not watching on the video audio podcast.
Yeah, y'all can find me, man. Too real 51 is where I'm at on Instagram. It's kind of where I'm at. I don't really mess around with many other things. Facebook, I don't get on it, but that's where I'm at. And just shout out to y'all, man, for taking the time out y'all day to listen to an underdog like myself give his side of a story and just speak. And appreciate y'all questions and you, boss. Appreciate you for
Nah, man,
allowing
we
me
we
to join
we
your
love that
podcast.
underdog story over here, brother. I think this sport was built on the underdog, and
Okay.
like I'm a huge Devin Haney fan, right? His father was just on the show 10, 20 minutes before you. But when everything happened and it was still a legit win, I was like, upsets are good for the sport because now you got two players, right? We thought at one point Ryan wasn't what he really was. That win legitimized him. Unfortunately, the steroids tainted that. So
Yeah,
yeah, Rolly, for instance, people were throwing him away. They thought he was done. Now he beats Ryan, new player
yeah,
in the sport. He could possibly
yeah,
fight Boots. So
yeah.
underdog stories are beautiful, man. I
And
got another
I
one
feel like
before
that's
you
the
go.
season of it.
Say again.
I feel like this is a season for it. Like you say, Cardenas almost pulled it. I
Yup.
don't know if you watched the. I mean, it's just this is a beautiful time. This is a beautiful time to be engaged in the sport of boxing.
Beautiful time to be an underdog, man. You ain't lying. But
Yes,
listen,
sir.
before you go, Too Real, how'd you get the nickname?
I mean, honestly, through the course of life, as you'll see tattooed on my back the night of, um, T Hearn is what I go by as well. Tyrrell taking the T from the first name, and then Herndon taking those last four letters. People know me, close friends know me as T Hearn as well. But that's through the course of going through my college career, and just different walks of life, meeting people. The name, that's what they would just come and gravitate and tell me. Like, yeah, man, that's too real, man. You too real, dog. You're a real person. You're a real soul. And it would just stick to the point to where it's like, I started going by too real, and that name stood transferring into boxing, and it went from there. But just being a real person. What you see is what you get. There is no sugarcoating with me. I'll always try to keep it up front. I'm not a guy that'll try to tell you one thing and then close the door and tell a guy another thing. Like, what you see with me is what you get, and either you respect it or you don't. I'm in a world where it feels good for your feelings to sugarcoat something and not tell them the truth. I'm the guy that's gonna come around the corner and be real with you and tell you the truth, and hopefully you respect me for it. And that's how it came. The hints of the name Too Real came about.
Nah, I love it. Too real, man. Stay real, champ. We appreciate you
Yes,
coming
sir.
on. Like I said, we looking forward to getting you back on when it ggets closer to the fight, man. But salute.
No doubt. Appreciate you, brother.
All right. There you have it, ladies and